Hello, everyone. How's it going? All right. And we are now live, and we are happy. I'm just going to mess around with some stuff here. Let's get things ready here. All right. So here we are. It's another Saturday night. We're going to have some fun tonight. It's lots of stuff to talk about. Got some big changes coming up next little while. Stuff that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna change some stuff in this channel. We're gonna change the focus a bit, but we'll get to that. Some reviews and stuff, cool stuff like that to talk about, and just have a chat, see what everybody's up to. I know there's been a lot of we got some more meta stuff that came out, saw the win ratios of everybody, and for better or worse, the looks like the Eldari are still on top. Space Marines are 4 tier below some sort of magic number of like, I think it was like 41 or 45% win rate, and they're in the red. That's not good. So, well, I mean, hopefully they can change that with points changes or what have you. I remember when they said the points were going to be separate from the index cards and apparently even the codex. I was kind of like, oh man, like that's like, it's annoying. But the fact that, I think that's going to probably be the major way they change and they mess with fixing the balances and the cost of stuff, right? Cost of units. Oops, sorry. I think it's going to be I think it's probably actually a good idea that we don't have they're not together. They're separate, which is good. And I would hope that they make things better. I'm just looking at I'm trying to find trying to get in here and see what the win ratio is, because now it's bothering me and I don't remember what it is. But yeah. But yeah. So I hope everybody's having had a good weekend so far. It's Saturday. Let's see here. Meta. Where'd that meta stuff go? Meta watch. Yeah, so there it is. Where it's Adeptus, sorry, 43%. That you have the Eldari, Gene Stealer Cults, Imperial Knights, and Adeptus Custodes, all super high. 56, 57, 63, and 67 for the Eldari. Leagues of Votan are dead last. Tau Empire, Death Guard, Adeptus Mechanicus. It's interesting to see. I mean, the Black Templars, Dark Angels, Space Wolves are above the rest of the Adeptus Astartes. Blood Angels are below. The Grey Knights aren't doing very good either, 40%. And so hopefully, yeah. Obviously, the Games Workshop says that the win rates continue to fluctuate as players grapple with conditions still in its infancy, figuring out the tactics needed to secure victory in the new rule set. And obviously, yeah, I mean, some of that is true, but it says players can look forward to upcoming changes. Any arrival of Tyranid Space Marine Codexes this autumn, as well as intense competitive action of the Nova Open later this month. So this was as of August 8th. So obviously what happens at Nova Open, but I mean, I think the Eldari and some of these other armies have already sort of figured out what they need to do to win. It's pretty intense stuff there. So hopefully they can get things figured out so everybody has a bit more of a chance. I'd like to see games won on sorry, it's on my eye here, on skill obviously some of that is knowing your army very, but I'd love to see some of it come up based on skill and not just being able to have really powerful options or abilities. And I would like to see it balanced out a bit better. But there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. The meta's cool. I believe it was, who was it? It was Morty and Glory asked the question, who is this who is this edition made for? It's an interesting question because the meta's kind of crazy right now. Certain armies having a wonderful time, but it's kind of all over the place. And I think personally, from what I've seen, this game is designed for, kind of say, got a couple of houseflies there. I believe this meta is probably designed at this point for, I think, more the casual player right now. I may be wrong, but everything I've seen, the meta being the way it is, and the way they did the rule set to try and make the rules a bit more fluffy and more appropriate for each army, I think they're trying to design to be something for more of a casual player. Again, it's still a very new, still very young, this edition. So I wouldn't, Gamers with Coffee, evening sir, how are you? Just mentioning it, talking about this edition and who it's meant for. I kind of think this one was geared towards more casual players or maybe narrative players and less the competitive. But again, they're still doing meta watches. The changes are still coming left, right, and center. So I think more time is needed before we can fully understand who this edition is meant for. But that being said, I'm still iffy about losing my Assault Marines because I didn't really lose them. This 10th is seeming better. I'm gonna experiment just like at Safari. So far it's been pretty cool. I played a couple little test games, unit on unit sort of thing, trying to get a feel for it until I got a full blown, my first 10th edition game. But it seems to flow a bit smoother than previous editions, and we'll see. There's less rules. Right, the bloat is still kind of there. I mean, there's still a lot to remember. There's less. The enhancements are a bit more streamlined. There's less stratagems, but every unit still has its own special abilities that you kind of have to remember. The index cards are nice. It's a great way to have it in front of you. I've already sorted mine through my 1,000 and 2,000 point armies, and I think the next step is probably to build the Leviathan models to get the basically the the combat patrol for Space Marines. So the Terminator Captain, Terminator Librarian, Terminators, and the Inferno, and a 5-man squad of Infernus Marines. And that way I've got that built up too, so I can play some combat patrol, which would be nice to try out too. I mean, the rules are slightly, not the rules, but the abilities are slightly different. But yeah, it'll be fun. That's the next goal, is to get that chunk of the Leviathan box set done. Get some of those cool characters. The Librarian looks crazy awesome. Love all the detail. I'm excited to get those guys done. But also had a showcase, so wanted to showcase a couple things. One, I have never done too many major reviews on stuff like that. But I picked this up at one point, got a few months back, just to sort of something to get me over the hump to get free shipping, because I don't feel like going to the local store to pick stuff up or having to pay a bunch of extra money for shipping. This is a Nexus and Other Stories. This is so based around 9th edition's starter sets, right? So you've got, of course, your Assault Intercessor there. Is probably just a lieutenant, though, or not a lieutenant, but a sergeant. He's got I can't see it there. He's got the red helmet hidden back there. But I've always loved anthologies too. It's cool to read a whole series. It's cool to have recurring characters and obviously a plot line that goes on. Anybody's reading Horus Heresy knows how crazy this can get, though. I always liked anthologies too. This one says start here because it's sort of like an introduction, but even then, a lot of it is stuff that would be introduced after getting in the game already. There's a lot of terms in here that you only get if you've played the game for any really given any time, any given amount of time. It's great though. You got a little novella in there, Marines, and it's cool. It gives you a little breakdown. And see here, so it says your next read. So there's a Blood Angel story before this, Devastation of Baal, and then you have the Test of Faith. And it talks about the Dark Angels, and you go through that story, and then oh, I skipped one. Let me see here. Of course, then it has your next read again, War of Secrets, and then the next one was the Darkling Hours, about the Astra Militarum. That one is actually about Severina Rain. Obviously, she was a model for a little while there, character. So, and there's a bunch of characters that reoccur in here. Eisenhower's in here. He's got his story under the Inquisition. Lots of cool stuff about Dan Abnett, right? Missing in Action. That's the one by Dan Abnett. That's the one about Eisenhorn. I was actually kind of surprised to read that. I'm like, oh, I recognize some of these names. And oh, there it is. There he is, Rat. So that was cool. Actually, I think one of my favorite stories, of course, there's the orcs and everything's in here. Orcs. Eldar, Yanari, the whole shebang in here, right? What I really like about, though, I think my favorite story was actually about a pilot in the Imperial Navy / Air Force. It's such a well-written story. It's this a pilot whose whole life is about flying. She's strict about it. She's attuned to her airplane. They're almost like one and the same. And she's given a very important mission to deliver not only an important person, but apparently information that could, on its own, single-handedly turn the tide in favor of the Imperium. The war's not going very well. Of course, being a pilot, it means that partway through the story, her plane must be shot down. It crashes. This important individual is injured, and it's the point of it's going to be fatal. They're not going to make it, and she has to hand deliver this. Of course, she's got to steal another fighter. Of course, trapped behind enemy lines right now, and then make it to to the next Imperial strong point. Deliver the information to the person who needs it, and that happens. But the cool part is that's not where the story ends. You get to see the after effect. This pilot now becomes an Imperial hero. And in, of course, the true twisted sense of 40K, that doesn't mean that they're, now free. She's free to fly whenever she wants, or she basically is under lock and key as this Imperial hero, going to funerals set up by, got some houseflies. Kids left out some food, I guess. And so everything she loved doing in defense of the Imperium has now been taken from her. It's very, again, that's a pretty atypical ending for 40K story, but I like the fact that it didn't just end with the mission being complete and she's going to hop back in another plane and take off. She becomes Imperial hero. There's posters of her everywhere. It's just a very cool story. Yeah, I know that it was a great story. There's a ton of them in there. They're all very cool in their own way. The orc one is hilarious. I would recommend if you're a fan of anthologies, just cool, quick stories that have lots of character to them. A great way to, maybe even if you've never read a story of a particular army before, I would recommend picking up something like this if you still can. Again, it gives a good review of everything, and there's everything. The Death Watch is in here, Adeptus Custodes, the Inquisition, Knights, everything, the whole shebang. Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus one is pretty funny too, because it runs on the whole the schism between the Imperium and the Inquisition, right? The differences in how they react and how these two parts, work together, but also, like in anything, in any good 40K story, end up working against each other in spite of themselves. That was a good book. It was a really, really good book. And again, they got some really Guy Haley, Dan Abnett, Phil Kelly, a lot of people who Josh Reynolds, a lot of names I recommend, or I recognize, I should say, from other stuff. Lots of cool stuff in here. What was the other one? Yeah, lots of cool stuff here. And I guess it also gives insights into the background of some of these armies as well, beyond the whole I'm an Imperial Warrior, or I'm an Orc, or I'm a Chaos Marine. It gives a little bit deeper understanding. So definitely, I'll say this is one of my very first reviews. Definitely a book to get. It's great if you still find it. Go out and get it. It's awesome. The other cool thing I did, speaking of hobby time, right? Don't know if you guys can see this well enough. Let me put this down. I built up and painted. Well, I built this a while ago. My Plasma Obliterator. I love this thing. This Plasma Obliterator is cool. I mentioned it on my Instagram there and a few other places. Actually, story behind this. So, oh God, would have been 2015 when this model first came out. And I was working at Games Workshop at that point as a key timer, and we were supposed to get a few, and I was really hoping to get my hand on this. Right, we at that point we'd already gotten that force field generator model, a big one, and we never got one in the store and sold out like that. We were supposed to get a bunch, but then we were told by email, "You're not getting any. Sorry, poop." So it missed out. And then when I was still working here. This was in the winter. Was it winter? I can't remember. It was sometime in the fall at some point. I was back out in a city called North Bay, which is, this is where it gets interesting. This is the same city. I had family there many years ago. It was the same city when I was a kid, way back in the 90s, where I hopped into a hobby store and I made my very first jump into 40K when I picked up the Ultramarine Codex in 2nd edition. I fell in love with the book cover, read it. These awesome warriors in giant armor with massive guns. How could you not love it, right? I mean, how could you not? And so when I was back in North Bay, I found the store. And funny enough, it was still in the same street, just diagonally in a different corner. It was here at one point. Now it was here. Walked in. Wasn't expecting to buy anything, but then there it was. I'm like, oh man, I've got to have this. It was there. It was on the the one of their shelves. I'm like, oh, I've got to have that. Right? They had a couple of copies. I'm like, oh, I got to get this. Right? It's a cool bit because it comes apart in 3 pieces. So you have a base here. This is your base. Of course, you have a couple hatches here because this can be used. It's in a fortification, so it can be used as a troop carrier. Oh, got the paint there. I'm gonna have to cover that up. You can see that. And then you have the middle part, and you can see you've got a couple the slots here for where your crew can fire from. Some awesome artwork. I did a dry brush special on this. Lots of just silvers, and then some gold. I think it was Retributor armor. Then a wash of what was it? I can't remember now. And then a dry brush with some silver on top to kind of make the gold here. It's hard to see now. It's just to make it pop a bit. Well, thank you very much. So there's that part. Of course, then you have the cannon itself. Again, lots of gold on the back there. Of course, I did some varying degrees of blues here to get sort of that plasma glow, and that's hard to see on the edges there, but I did it on the guns as well, just a bit of a glow coming out of there. And the cool thing is the gun itself, the casing here, I thought it was kind of bland. It was black. I didn't want to go crazy highlighting on it because I didn't want it to stand out. So what I did is I actually took some ball red the wash and did it all over. So it actually, I know it's hard to see, but actually has a slight reddish tinge to it, which was a lot of fun. Oh, I'm stuck. A slight reddish tinge to it, which I thought was cool, right? And of course, this fits back on top here. And then I've got myself a mighty battle cannon, the plasma obliterator there. I mean, it's a cool piece of. Let me see if I can find it here. I believe it is. I'm just gonna look this up here if I can. I believe it is. Where is it? It's a legend. It is under legends now because they have. Let me see here. Gotta find it here. Let's see, Imperial Armor. No. Imperial Armor. No. Legends. Let's see here. There it is. Unaligned forces, right? Because they're not aligned with anybody, so anybody can kind of use them. Let's see here. A lot of the old terrain or fortifications, you can use them either way, are now all legends. So Plasma Obliterator, yeah, I think it's 225 points. Let's see here, yeah, toughness 13, 2+ armor save, 18 wounds, leadership of 7+, of course, 0 for the objective control because this thing doesn't move, right? It can't really, control anything. Of course, it's called the Plasma Obliterator. It's armed with the Plasma Obliterator, the big cannon up here. Of course, because it is fortification, you can't have troops in it. You have 20 infantry. What's cool is that each model with a wound characteristic of 3 or more takes up the space of 2 models. It cannot transport non-character models with a wound characteristic of 4 or more. Which means, I guess, if you want to, you could put something really big in there as long as it's a character. But I like the fact that it's 3 or more. So once you start getting in, so even your basic intercessors could hop in here if they want. You could get 20 of them in here if you wanted to. So yeah, it's got the firing deck 10, so obviously 10 miles can shoot. Plasma Obliterator itself, it's actually pretty cool. So you get your standard blast and supercharged blast hazardous, 48-inch range, D6 plus 3 attacks, which is not bad. It's ballistic skill 5+. Again, it's probably they are banking on the machine spirit to do the damage. It's strength 9, AP -3 damage with the standard. Strength 10, AP -4 damage on the supercharge. Cool thing is it has emergency plasma events. So if you do a failed hazardous test, if you roll 4+ on D6, you ignore it, right? It's got the nice vents here. It's got a special system designed to not make it explode. You do get cover if you're partially covered up or partially obscured. You do get a cover save for it. It's a pretty cool unit all around. I'm glad I finally got it done. But I think my favorite part is the fact that it was some model that I just couldn't get my hands on at first. Back in the day when I worked at Games Workshop, and then I was Hellchild, how's it going? Yeah, that's a big DACA. It is a big DACA. It is a very big DACA. I just like the fact that I was able to find it. Ooh, that'll get better. You hear the sound. I like the fact that I was able to find it after I couldn't get it while working Games Workshop. I was still working when I found it, but I was a key timer, so I worked once in a blue moon. But the fact that I was able to find it at the same store, I guess not physically, but it was this actually same store that I had started my 40K journey on all those many, many years ago. And it's a great looking model. Like I said, I did the dry brush special on it, mostly just because it's a lot to paint. So again, lots of silver, dry brushing, all these extra parts. The gold was simply retributive gold, and then I put a wash of Agrax Earthshade on it. and then a dry brush with some brighter silver, just a real light dry brush to sort of pick up edges. The other thing I remember about this thing is it was a beast to put together. It was insanely difficult. The instructions were not helpful. You can just see, like, there was each plate was a piece. Each of these was a piece. This is a piece. This is a piece. All these the shooting locations here are all a piece. Each interior part, which is hard to see, but there's little interior parts there, was a piece. This was two pieces. It was a beast to put together. Even this was several. I think this was at least 4, 5, 6 pieces altogether, including this. This head piece is different. This was a couple pieces. You have the two sides here, which I believe are also separate from here, and there's a bottom part to it. Even the top here was two pieces. It was very complex to put together, and they warned me, and they're like, "Yeah, if you're gonna put that together, I mean, elastics, you're gonna need some patience. You're gonna need some time." But it's pretty cool. I'm glad that I was able to get it. It was a lot of fun putting this together and painting it up. I mean, it looks some cool looking terrain, whether I actually use it as a fortification or not. Hello, how's it going? Good to see you here. Thank you for jumping in. Now, the main thing I want to talk about tonight, actually, first thing I want to ask, now you guys are here, I mentioned earlier, if you go back and rewatch, talked about, we were just perusing the meta a bit there. There's the Eldari and the Imperial Knights, Custodes are all at the top, and things like the Space Marines are below, I guess, some sort of magical threshold of being in the winning. I think they're at 43% win rate. I think they cut it off at like 46 or something, but that's Games Workshop doing it. Correlating that with a question that was asked in his community tab by Morty and Glory, who is this game made for? Who is 10th edition made for? I personally think it's made for sort of everyone. Then that's the thing. It's not. I think it's made for the narrative, the more casual gamer now. But I could be wrong. I haven't played a game yet. I played some small little mini battles, unit versus unit thing to get used to the rules and all that. Yeah, Helltap, are you supposed to be working, man? Tisk. If you're going to play hooky, I'm glad you're playing hooky with me. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it a game that's been sort of changed to be for the casual gamer, the narrative gamer, or do you think it's still geared towards the competitive side? The competitive side is what really drives the sales now. Absolutely, it's what drives sales. Of course, they still have the meta watch, and they've tried to make things simplified but not simple. They have cut down the rules a bit, but there's still a ton of stuff there. I'm glad they have specialized. I'm glad they have the universal special rules back. But again, still, every unit has its own special rules, which set it apart from all the other units. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Have they? I mean, 10th is still relatively brand new, so I mean, there's lots of time to fix things and adjust things. So I don't know. What do you guys think? That's just my blurb on it as I play with my giant gun. I mean, can't do that on TV, right? Can't touch my big gun on screen. Oopsies. It's bad of me to do that. Now, the big thing I wanted to talk about, though, was some changes to the channel. Because, frankly, I'm not happy with it. I haven't been for a while. I've been trying new things like doing these live streams. I'm trying to get comfortable with that. And I'm trying to up my hobby output, which I think has definitely been helped by 10th edition, getting some units redone, which then became legends. But I mean, I got some units redone. I got some new stuff painted up. It's got the mojo working, getting big things like the Plasma Obliterator done, which is great. It's been good. Trying some new things. I've been doing stuff behind the scenes, figuring out how certain programs work, so I can offer up um, different products to you guys, different content. But I'm still not. I think you're doing great. I've learned a lot from you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, but the channel seems unfocused. I feel unfocused in it, and I definitely want that to change. Um, I've been looking at what I wanted to do with the channel originally, which is just have fun with the hobby in general. I looked at a lot of history stuff, like I looked at sort of where the mini war game community sort of came from. I looked at H.G. Wells' Little Wars, and by the way, if you want to, I'll probably throw this down in the description later on when I'm done with the live. Check out Little Wars if you want to see sort of where it all came from. It's on the Gutenberg project. You can look it up. It's free. Download it. It's Little Wars by H.G. Wells. There's a whole there's massive stuff in there, right? He didn't play with dice. He didn't like dice. He didn't like chance. They had a whole fog of war thing. Just lots of cool stuff. Now, mind you, was written a long time ago. It is sexist as heck. Okay, I'm just gonna say right now, if that's something that bothers you, go in knowing the context behind it. It was written a long time ago. At one point, they were playing floor hammer, as we call it, where they were having their country, as they called it, their terrain was all over the floor, right? So they had buildings, and they had made up blocks at some points. They had their trees and forests and rivers, the whole shebang. It was all on the floor. And he called women destroyer of worlds with their big dresses that could come through and just destroy everything, right? So it is sexist. Okay, I'm saying that's good, but it's part of the history, right? The context of when it was written. It was a long time ago. But so I've definitely feel like I'm kind of all over the place. I've tried different things. I did the mini boss battles there with my converted orc war boss. I've done I've done terrain building stuff over the years. I've been dabbling. I want to do more of it, but I'm dabbling with the shorts. And then there's long form. So there's lots to go on. It's constantly evolving. But I'm personally not happy with where it's been, where it's gone. So there's going to be some big changes coming. I'm going to keep doing these live streams, although I think I'm going to have to make the channel a lot more focused on certain aspects of the hobby that are fun to me, because it's got to be fun for me, or it's not worth doing, right? And that's kind of a selfish thing to say, but if it's not fun for me, there's no point in me doing it, because if I'm not having fun, that will come out in my presentation to you guys, and then it won't be fun for you. Why would you want to watch something that isn't fun? If the person's not having fun, you don't want to watch it. So yeah, I think I'm thinking of there's definitely going to be some big changes, gradual, up to including maybe changing the channel name itself. A little bit here and there. I don't want to completely alienate everybody by coming up with a completely new name, but I definitely think that I need to direct it a bit more. I think I was trying to do a whole bunch of different hobby stuff, and life as it goes hasn't really gone the way that, not that I didn't want it to. I'm very happy with my life and kids and family, but obviously things that I couldn't plan for have happened. So I've had to adjust, which is normal in life. One of the different big changes is I'm actually diving in behind the scenes stuff, and I'm trying different things in order to, have multiple screens, so I can show you guys what I'm looking at and present it to you instead of just sort of reading off a screen that only I can see. That's not really fun. And of course, then I'm sort of reading when I should be talking directly to you guys. That's one thing I definitely want to I'm doing a lot of reading and studying on how to be better at presenting, showing a better presentation to you guys. Because I kind of want to, again, selfishly have sort of a legacy here. I'm in this hobby a long time, and yeah, I'm not up there with like Morty and Glory or Valrak or some of those other big ones, Mini Wargaming Dave. One day I'd love to be recognized, maybe up there, but I still want to be fun. I may never get there, but I do want to leave a positive legacy for people. Something people, hey man, did you see that video? Yeah, it was cool. And then, well, thank you very much. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, definitely. Plus, part of it is also getting my hobby mojo on as well. It's sort of been ups and downs, a lot more downs than ups, and I want to get my mojo going. I have lots of stuff to paint. I got the Leviathan box set to paint up. It's a lot of models in there. I may not get to the tier stuff, but I definitely want to get the Marine stuff. There are so many cool things in there. And the other thing is, as I'm saying right now, lots of I've been trying to take, not classes, but trying to articulate myself better, speak clearer. That way my ideas come out in a better fashion than they have been, and I'm not humming and hawing all the time. Because that's, again, not enjoyable. I want these videos to be enjoyable and memorable for you guys. So that's definitely one of the big things that's going to be happening over the next little while. One of the big focuses will be on Ultramarines. It's the army I've been playing since 2nd edition. There's a ton of cool fluff, characters, events, lots of cool stuff that's gone on in the fluff, and I'm a big fluff junkie, so that's definitely going to be a focus. I'll be focusing on the fluff, focusing on those units. Why don't you jump onto a live show tomorrow when you talk about your channel? Perhaps I can try. My Sunday is kind of booked up pretty heavily already. I will definitely try at some point. Let me know what time it's at, and I can try and find a quiet moment, or we can set up a time. Yeah, whenever. Yeah, unfortunately, I have not unfortunately, I have twin boys who are 5 right now, and they hunt me down to Marigo, and it would be a 4 p.m. Central. Okay, so it's about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. Am I remembering that correctly? Is that right? Would that be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, trying to find a quiet moment without having. And if it is at 5, I may not be actually back home at 5 p.m. or I would just be getting home at 5 p.m. My oldest is actually spent the last 3 days, and tomorrow will be last day at a Sea Cadet camp at one of our Canadian Forces bases here where I live, and it's been lots of fun. He's been on the shooting range, meeting MPs. It's really fun. It's been a great time for me. Absolutely loves it. So, but yeah, no, I digress. I would love to be on there, guys. Absolutely. We'll set something up. We'll set a time up. Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate that. But yeah, no, I definitely want to focus on all the Ultramarine stuff. I've done a few here and there, but I would like to redo them. I did a Warriors of the Grim Dark on Training War Veterans, which was okay. I was trying some new stuff that I'd love to redo one, make it better. I definitely want to take what's left of this year and into the next year and make my channel better, make it more focused, make it more fun. And kind of really, it would also be good for me because it really helped me understand the Army the way it is now. Obviously changing because we're in 10th, but I definitely want to make Ultramarines my focus for the channel. Again, I'll still do other stuff. I'll still look at some of the history of the game. I want to get back into that as well. I don't want to take on too much. I really want to focus on a few specific things and do them really well. But that's sort of where the change goes for this. Yeah, I just want to do better overall with my channel. I want it to have an impact. And that's somewhat selfish. I'm not talking about like making a living off of it and becoming, like influencer, so to speak. But I would definitely like to make more of an impact, a positive one, get people excited, get people entertained, a place where people come and chat and have fun, like a safe space where people can just, ask questions, what have you. Talking is thirsty business. But definitely, thank you very much. I do want to be on your live show. Absolutely. I would love that. I know for my own channel right now, there's a lot of things that I would love to do over, to redo, to improve on. Obviously, I've learned stuff from way back in the day. Just looking at my playlist right now. I mean, shorts I'm still messing around with. I started something on Tyrannic War Veterans, and it never went anywhere. I don't know. There's a bunch of different stuff I'd love to do better. The Warriors of the Grim Dark was a big one. I'd like to sort of redo that and make it a bit more professional looking. I remember going through the last one I did for that was they made the 10th. I was talking about my Tyrannic War Veterans being into 10th. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome anytime. Well, thank you. I mean that. That's another thing I want to do. I want to start getting people onto my live streams, right? I'm a big fan of the community. One of the things that I've noticed is ever since the whole mess we had through in the last 3 years there, it was a bit isolating, and it's time to get out of that isolation and get back out to the community. I've been trying to get out to local stores. It's difficult, right? I got family, kids and all that, and they have their extracurriculars. I definitely want to get out there, though. I want to talk to community. Community is important. It's one of the I think one of my favorite parts. I mean, building the armies is great, and reading the fluff and knowing the rules is great, but actually being out there and talking to people and playing games, interacting is I think my favorite part. And there's so many amazing, positive people in this community that are just doing amazing stuff. And I'd love to talk to those people. I'd love to talk. I think definitely like one of my dream guests would be someone like Mini Wargaming Dave. Just he's a huge inspiration for me. And I'd love to talk to him one day and pick his brain and interact. I think it'd be great. But again, that's something for the future at some point. Lots to do before then. More terrain to paint and build, more models to paint and build. At some point, I do want to get my first game of 10th in. I haven't really had I can't say I've had a full real game. As I said earlier, I've rolled some dice, unit versus unit sort of thing. I may end up having to do like a solo game at first, which required me to paint more models till I get some good sized armies. I've got lots of Ultramarines, but not a lot of anything else. I have my Eldari and some Dark Eldar there, some Dracaria, but the way Ynnari works right now, I can't actually really even build that army without having certain characters, which is a bit. We would have to have their special character, their leader, their Yvraine, I think it was. No, I can't remember her name now, but I'd have to actually have her as my warlord to have a Ynnari army. I didn't have to do that before, so that's one of those things that is unique about 10th. They've put some little things in there to try and I guess make it a bit fluffier, I guess, a bit more central to the armies. Who knows? right? Like 10-man task squads you got to have in this 10-man now. No more 5-man squads. No more min-maxing. That's out for those, at least for those guys, right? But that's definitely where I want to go with this channel. I want to make it better. That's all I can really say for it. I want to make it better. I want to make it a bit more fun. I definitely want to make it look better, more professional. And I definitely want to focus more on my Ultramarines because that's the army. Like I said, I've been playing since 2nd edition, and I would love to really deep dive into it and all the different units and the different companies, characters. And I've got Ventress. I have to paint him up. That's another model I have to do. I picked him up. Fantastic looking model, but I got to get him painted and stuck together. And right now he's actually off the base, so I can get the base part that comes with it. It actually comes with a cool little base. A lot of people paint up his marble, which I have no idea how to do. Some people have done like a copper gold thing, like he's standing on some silver, like he's standing on the deck of an Imperial ship. I've seen some do it as stone. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get to him, but he's a fantastic looking model. Lots of cool rules too. I'm played against Greg Spaceman. I don't like the way they're going through my Tyranids. Tyranids are you gotta have a lot of Tyranids. And Space Marines are really good at shooting. That is that's this edition, I think, is heavily leans towards the shooting. And if you're using, I think I've seen a few games using the Swarm Lord and a lot of gaunts. You need a lot more gaunts. Even the Swarm Lord can get taken down pretty quickly with enough dedicated firepower. If he's using something Hellblasters, or I saw him with Gulliman there. I mean, Gulliman's a beast. They pushed him up through the walls. He's an absolute monster now, which is sort of how he should be. He's a Primarch. They should be nasty. They should be something that you go, oh, that's on the table, and kind of go, I'm going to put a big gun on that. I'm going to have to focus on that, right? And Tyranids work on numbers really, really well. I have Swarm Lord and Termagants mostly. Yeah, definitely. Swarm Lord's great. I mean, the Swarm Lord's a powerhouse on his own. Termagants are okay. You know, they've got their little flesh boards, which are fine, but they are extremely close range. And they definitely need they definitely need some support. You're going to need a lot of them. They are the NIDS. Well, not entirely. You can build the big beast armies with NIDS, but they definitely need numbers. Is something you need. You need numbers. Without sufficient numbers, they will be destroyed. Because individually, they're incredibly weak. They're smushy. They're not that powerful. You need numbers. You need your opponent to go, I hope I have enough shots for that unit. If you look at the Leviathan box set, the Marines have an absolute mass amount of shots in that. All those pyroblasters and the Terminators with all their shots. It's a lot of firepower coming out of these guys. The Ballistic Dreadnought is all about firepower, right? Just about lots of shots. And the gaunts, there's lots of gaunts in there. You've got all the cool new stuff. So, well, Swarm Lord is Swarm Lord's basically a character. He is. He's a character version. Gene Stealers. I'm gonna. You know what? I gotta look up. Just give me a minute here. I'm gonna look up the index cards for Gene Stealers. They're a little bit different now than they used to be. I haven't looked at Gene Stealers in a while. Let's see here. Nids. Where are the Nids? Nid. Oh, Nids. There we go. Let's see here. Yeah. Boom. Let's see here. So the Winged Hive Tyrant. Hive Tyrant. Yeah, so your Swarm Lord is sort of like your character tyrant. He's a really powerful guy. You have Synaptic Pulse and your Bone Sabers, which are really good. It's tough, 2+ armor save, 4+ vulnerable save. So yeah, let's see here. Gene Stealer, so Blue Lord. It's gonna take a while to get there. There's so many units. Old One Eye, he's fun. Where are you, Gene Stealers? Yeah, so you got your Termagants. Yeah, having a 5+ armor save and 1 wound only being toughness 3 means they're going to get annihilated if you don't have enough. And I'm assuming you have the Flesh Borers, which are an okay gun. Assault, Strength 5, which is pretty good, but yeah, no AP and 1 damage, so they're not gonna. You want a nice big 20-man unit on those guys. Same with Hormagaunts if you get those. They are either your close combat version of a Hormagaunt. Let's see here. Lictors, Death Leaper. Come on, Malceptor. Where are you, Gene Stealers? Neurogots. Good lord, where are you guys? Let me see. There you go, Gene Stealers. Yeah, again, toughness 4, 5+ invulnerable save. Thing is, they do have the Scouts 8-inch ability, so you can get them moving around. Yeah, they don't really have much for them anymore, do they? 4 attacks each. Again, for a unit like that, you can have 5 to 10. You want a full 10-man unit, and you definitely don't want them out in the open. Even with a 5+ invulnerable save, you don't want them out in the open. You want them skirting through cover and all that to stop them from being blown apart before you. Let's see, I play against Great Saints here. I don't like them. You don't like what, the Gene Stealers? I want Old One Eye. Yeah, Old One Eye is pretty cool. I actually have him. I bought the model off used off of like a Facebook group. I actually took him apart and sorry, I got something out here, and reposed him a bit to make him a bit more menacing. He's a great model. I don't like that. Which one do you don't like? You don't like the Gene Stealers? They're not bad. They used to have some extra fun to them in the form of, being basically able to ambush people, but you can't really do that anymore to the same extent. Yeah, you definitely need a number. You need a full 10-man squad, and you need a number of squads for them to be really effective. Because if they do get into close combat, 10 of them, that's 40 attacks. At -2 AP, you're going to do some damage, right? Against anything if you get the number of attacks in. Gee, how's it going, man? Welcome. Glad to see you here. Did I find out what? What did I find out? I'm not sure. Old One Eye is cool. Where did I see him? I just saw him up here. Again, he's your sort of your Carnifex character, so to speak. Swarm Lord is your Hive Tyrant character. Winged Tyrant Prime, Turvagon, where you go? Old One Eye, yeah, because he's a leader there. He's got his big sighting talons, toughness 9, unstoppable monster. I mean, it's cool. He can heal. He's the alpha leader. What does he lead? I'm assuming he's only lead Carnifexes, yeah. And he's an epic hero, right? So you only have one of him. It'd be cool to have I haven't seen any yet. I've seen a few Tyrann armies, and they're lots of small guys. I would love to see if someone has built a massive list of just the big guys. And who took them? Yes. No, I'll never know who took my dice. It's the actually, I was mentioning that there some of the changes I want to put through on the channel. Excuse me. That's cool. Yeah, well, get it, man. It's an awesome set. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. I haven't even the Screamer Killer. I love the fact that they brought that back. But I was saying there, I'm going to be putting the channel through some changes to focus it and make it a better channel, more fun channel. And one of it is I'll be definitely focusing heavily on my Ultramarines and the stuff like that. And changes are up to and including probably a channel name change. Not a like a drastic one where I'm going to alienate people, like completely changing the name, but definitely going to rework it a bit. I were just talking Tyranids here for Ashley there because she's having Ashley's learning to kick my Marines. Well, that's good. It's good to know your army and to know what you can do with it. Obviously, it's a learning curve for everybody because they changed a lot. But I mean, you know, Shadow in the Warp. Let's see here. Synapse. Synapse is good. The Battle Shock, Hyper Adaptations. See, things like if you're looking at your hyper adaptations, I don't know if you've really dealt with them, but there are some cool things you can do, like swarming instincts. Each time a Tyranid, so if you're attacking infantry, your weapons have sustained hits once. That'd be great for things like your Termagants with their flesh boards. You can sustain hits. Any critical hits will give you an extra hit. A great way to try and put some more firepower out. Let's see, hyper aggression. I don't know if he's got a lot of monster vehicle units in his Space Marines, so that may not be the best. Hey, Hive Predators, right? Each time a Tyranid model with this hyper adaptation makes attack targets an enemy character unit, critical hit scored, that attack has the precision ability, so that's really good if you want to say hurt Gulliman or take out a lieutenant or what have you. Precision means they can't really avoid the attack. I'm looking at these for the first time. I haven't actually read these in a while, so I mean, I'm kind of giving you some minor stuff here. Who took my Space Marines? No, I don't think that's a name. I go learn. Yeah, you gotta learn it when you can. But yeah, no, there's some cool stuff in there. Basically, with NIDS, now not always, but for the most part, NIDS you need to have the numbers, right? And Space Marines are good at shooting. So if you can't get into close combat with them, sort of take away their ability to do a lot of damage. I mean, if you're going up against, say, a lot of intercessor Space Marines, their main advantage, I thought it was upset. No one's taken my Space Marines yet. I'll never let them. They can't take them. I'm being buried with them. Like I said, intercessors are their main power is in their bolter rifle, right? Assault heavy, AP -1. It's punching through stuff. They're really versatile with them. But if you get in close combat, I think they only have like 3 attacks a model, and there's no AP to it. So it's I've learned that the hard way. Yeah. So getting in close combat takes away part of their takes away some of their efficiency, right? They can't hurt you as much. So getting close combat is really important. Again, you kind of need the numbers to get there. And be aggressive with Tyranids. That's what they're made for. Do not let yourself stand there in the open getting shot. Charge short. Hello, Mythos. How's it going, my brother? My brother from another Primarch, Mythos. Well, I guess he's playing Ultramarines now, so we're from the same Primarch, yo. Right? Courage and honor. Right? Got the Ultramarines in here. Ultramarine bros. But yeah, don't let yourself get caught up in the open with Tyranids, even for big things like your Hive Tyrants and all. I mean, they're Swarmlord. He is toughness 10 with a 2+ armor save, but enough firepower is going to hurt him and take him down. Doesn't matter how tough he is. They can still go down, and they can go down hard. So stick to cover. try and get as many shots in as you can and get in close combat as soon as possible, especially with someone like the Swarm Lord. Look at him. Let's see here. Swarm Lord. Yeah, he's got D6 plus 3. Well, that's a Synaptic, sorry. He's got 8 attacks with his Bone Sabers. Or Twin Link, so you're rerolling hits on it now. I can't remember. Twin Link changed. But I mean, 8 attacks of Strength 9, EP minus 2, and damage, and 3 damage per attack. It doesn't matter what he's hitting. It's going to take a wallop, right? So yeah, he's definitely something you want to be a bit more aggressive with him. That's the best. So something like the Swarm Lord, especially the Swarm Lord, because he's got his Synaptic Pulse, which is okay. But yeah, you definitely want to get in close combat. That's where his strength is. That's where his attacks are. That's where the majority of his damage is. Get in close combat. Mr. Frost is in his house. Yes, he is. Yeah, so no, that's definitely where I'm gonna go. For the people who just joined us, we've been talking about Nexus here. This book, I did a little review. It's a pretty cool book. I love anthologies. Lots of cool stories in here. It says start here. It's kind of an intro book, but it's not an intro book because in order to fully understand this book, you have to understand what each army is. They don't do a good job explaining it. Plus, I mean, they've got like Eisenhorns in here. What's her name? Severina Rain is in here, right? So there's characters in here. It's a great story, though. Great book. And I also painted this bad boy up. Very happy with this. Move this camera down. I got my plasma obliterator done. A lot of fun steps in this. A lot of dry brushing. Lots of silver dry brushing. Of course, the big obliterator cannon we talked about, the stats for it is a legend unit, but pretty cool. You can fit up to 20 infantry in it. I think it just looks cool whether you're actually using it as a fortification or just a piece of terrain. It's cool. Lots of gold in there. Explaining some of the cool stuff. Twin linked is reroll all wounds. Okay, so there you go. Twin linked, yeah. Used to be hits, now it's wounds, yeah. Thank you, Mythos. Yeah, so twin linked. But yeah, I love this thing. This is a kick-ass model. I am super happy. He was talked about the cool story, which I'll go over again because it's an awesome story. That's Big Daka. That's her on my way back from the game with Freak. Good to see you all. Don't tell us. We'll watch the video, right? I'll be lurking. Hey man, lurk away. That's what I do best. When this came out back in, I think it was 2015, I was working in Games Workshop. We didn't actually get any. We were supposed to get some, but we, of course, even back then, almost 10 years ago now, there were shortfalls on some of their supplies, right? So we were supposed to get a couple. We never did. Even then, I probably wasn't getting my hands on them because we had to sell them to customers before we could buy them as staff. Had about almost a year later. Of course, no one has them anymore. They're all gone. There was a limited run. I'm in a little city. Say little, it's pretty big, called North Bay. I had family who used to live up there. We were there for something of a family reunion, sort of. And I decided to visit some of the old haunts. And I went to the store that I went to where my whole adventure in 40K started. So store that I picked up my very first Ultramarines Codex. It's where it started. It's my love affair for this began. Now, physically, it was the same store. It actually moved diagonally across the road. So it used to be up here. It was there, but it was the exact same store. I'll see new staff, but there was 2 of them there. I picked up one. It was a beast to put together. There's so many parts of this thing. And it's a very weird form of plastic too. I didn't mention that. It's a dark gray plastic. But yeah, no, I built it and I finally decided I need to paint this up. It's sort of one of the other things I want to do is a change. I want to build up more terrain showcase things on more complete tables. I'm trying to get room to do that too. But yeah, so this was the other thing we did. And of course, talked about some of the changes on the channel. I definitely want to do things a bit more professionally, a bit more fun, be a bit more connected, interactive with you guys. I definitely want to, like I said, and Mythos has been helping me, but I've been trying to learn Streamlabs, different stuff, so I can start integrating more into my product, my videos for you guys for the product I'm putting out. But yeah, no, and like I said, I want to start focusing more on Ultramarines, sort of focus the channel a bit more instead of hopping all over the place. Do more shorts. Shorts are fun. I know they're changing. YouTube is changing stuff around shorts, so they change the algorithm stuff all the time. I'm just trying to keep up with it. Hey man, absolutely. You've been more than help already. Mythos has been great, and I'm definitely going to, as soon as I can, jump on with Gamers' Coffee. There, we like shorts. No, you can't see my shorts. That's not this type of programming, sir. Okay, and I'm definitely not going to try starting an OnlyFans. That's not anything that anyone wants to see. So your shorts. Yeah, no. I said shorts. Hey, you know what? You never know. Yeah, we could all end up going that way. A little Monty Python-esque strip Warhammer. Every time a unit's destroyed, you gotta start do, right? And I don't know. Maybe that's the way the channel's got to go. Maybe I got to start making a little blue. Only yeah, exactly. No one wants to see that. Pretty sure I'd have to pay people for that, and I don't want to do that. If they're short, I do not wear short shorts. I remember I was playing Final Fantasy 14 a little while back, and made the mistake of purchasing some what I thought was better equipment, better pants, and I ended up realizing my character, my Lancer at the time, was wearing booty shorts, and I tortured my oldest with it, and my youngest. We're going. I started singing "Who wears short shorts," and the boys, my youngest boys, jumped in, and so every time I play it now, and it's been a while, they're like, "Daddy, put the short shorts on your character. Daddy wears short shorts. Daddy wears." So, yeah, no, I still do it from time to time to torture my kids, but Keegan has competition now. Dance. Oh, I used to dance long ago, but then there was an unfortunate accident, and so many people were hurt. I vowed to never dance again. I can't go through that emotional turmoil. So much loss. For color drink. Yeah, man. No, yeah, no short shorts. Whenever. But, yeah. So I definitely want to start making this channel a bit more fun. I'm definitely trying to get out to the community. That's another change I want to do, is actually get out there, play more games, have some more fun. I mean, I haven't played a game of 10th yet. I definitely have to get one played at some point. I'm trying very hard to. I haven't been able to organize the time just yet. It's been a busy summer, vacations and kids doing stuff. My oldest, as I mentioned before, is off at a Sea Cadet summer camp. He goes out to one of the local fire ranges for the whole day, every day. So that, and he's loving it. I mean, he's gone to the fire ranges already. He's got to meet the MPs, which is really cool. He said they were massive. I took an arrow to the knee, or maybe the buttocks. I don't know. Probably, knowing my luck, it'd be right in the ass. arrow right to the left butt cheek. Oh, it was now he's only using air rifles. So they're not actually giving my son like live rifle. I mean, it's cool. I've done that myself, but no, I definitely just air rifles for now. But he's gone on the full. He's gone his uniform, the whole shebang. So it's a lot of fun. Mythos, yes, Mythos. Do we want Mythos in firing range? Do you have the qualifications for that, sir? You know, like what? Go, yeah, man. I mean, up in Canada, we're a bit more strict with our gun laws, but no, man, go fire. I've been on the when I did my I do actually a really good shot. That's kind of scary. Mythos here. Don't piss him off. Mythos. He's an excellent shot. He's qualified. He's 5 minutes of James Bond. I got second place. Oh man, if watching five minutes of James Bond qualified you, I'd be a master shot because I watched all the James Bond movies. I'd be a master sniper assassin at this point. No, I mean I've luckily enough through because I did cadets as well. I got to fire air rifles up to shotguns, even up to I got to fire off. I got to fire off like massive guns, like a big old school cannon. Just boom. There's nothing, almost nothing that makes you feel like you are a living god than feeling the ground tremble when you pull the cord on those old guns. Just boom, and you just feel the ground do this, and the whole thing rolls back a bit before it sets back in position. And you open the breech, and the shell comes up flying hot. You shove another one in, close the breech, boom. It's an amazing experience. I was able to do that. I did that with the Sea Cadets way back in day for Canada Day, and we actually walk down. This is in Ottawa, Canada. I was at our nation's capital. We got to walk down some of the streets, pulling these big guns with us. Right, just massive guns. Old school Navy type guns, but huge and just boom. Beautiful. Amazing. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah. But, yeah, going by that, if I've seen 5 minutes of James Bond, I've seen all the James Bond. So, I'd be a master assassin sniper guy. So, hopefully, and I don't think I'm qualified. No. I at this point, I'm more of a Jenkins. I'm the guy who runs out, screams glorious, some sort of glorious, combat charge, and then instantly gets annihilated. I now have a bigger fist than Freak. I don't know how to take that. It's like a show me mine because that's a no. But yeah, no, that's don't no. No, you don't need to show anybody. Keep the stallion in the corral. You'll knock me in the fire. Okay, no. But that's what I want to do with the channel. I do, after all the joking, I want to make it a more fun place. I want to make it a more interactive place. I want more focused on what makes me happy to paint and have fun with. I've done a lot of stuff that I thought would be fun for other people to watch. Some of it was fun for me to do on my own. But yeah, I definitely want to put out stuff that I find fun as well. That way I'll want to do it more consecutively. Pretty big DACA. DACA, man. You orc players and your DACA. DACA and fists. Oh, no. No. But yeah, hey, here's your DACA right here, my big cannon. It's nice, happy to see you. Is that a plasma obliterator on your quadrant, or are you just happy to see me? We're gonna come up with some flirty 40K sayings now, right? I think that's an important thing. We should have that for before next Valentine's Day. Come up with some flirty 40K sayings, right? That's not DACA. This is DACA. What are you pulling the whole crocodile knee? That's not a knife. This is a knife. I see you played Knifey Spoony before. Crazy Aussies. Well, show is now on the dark side. Okay, well, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. Let's bring it back from the dark side to the light side. All right, we don't want anybody getting in trouble, right? But yeah, no, I don't. What do you guys think? Do you think it is something I should really go for? I would love to know what you guys think. Welcome to the dark side. Spicy streams. I don't know. I don't know. You wanted to change. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, not the change I was looking for. Right. Should I become one of those Twitch streamers now? I'll go get a pool, like a little wading pool, and throw it in my room, and I'll paint models in like a European speedo. No, just paint some models. Whatever makes people happy. You know, that's just what they. I'm no honestly, I'm not a big fan of the. I'll throw you some coin if you do all that. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. That's one thing I'll never do on this channel. I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the rage-inducing negative spins that I see a lot. Not a ton, but a lot of mini wargaming sites where it's everything's negative, everything's bad. This is bad. This is bad. Games Workshop sucks at this. This company sucks at this. This model sucks. This paint sucks. And I'm all for criticizing companies when they do something not cool but the general feel of these channels is they're just trying to get a reaction to get people to watch, which I mean, at the end of the day is what you want to do with your channel. You want people to have a reaction, but I want people to have a positive reaction. I want them to come away, feeling happy, inspired, informed on certain things. I definitely don't want people going away upset or angry or feeling title video Games Workshop killed my cat. That was a big one. Games Workshop's killed my channel. Games Workshop's killed. That was a huge one for a while. Everybody's putting out Games Workshop killed my channel. But it had nothing to do with Games Workshop. It was a perfect example. Some people did it because they were upset because they'd make a video of Games Workshop product and then they put something out about clickbait. They put up something else that wasn't Games Workshop and it wouldn't do anywhere near as well because people want to see Games Workshop stuff. And I don't ever want to do that. There's a number of channels I actively, as I said before, self-censor. I don't want to see that stuff because I don't. And some of their videos have a point. When it comes to when they talk about the way Games Workshop's business models. It's not a very friendly business model sometimes. A lot of FOMO in there, fear of missing out. But that's all they talk about. There's nothing other than the next doom and gloom story, and I don't like that. It gets people angry. The reaction is negative, and it kind of creates its own echo chamber where everyone is saying the exact same thing. And I don't want an echo chamber. I want people to be able to express themselves on here, whether it's in comments or a live stream. I'm gonna do me. Wait a minute. No. Does not misconstrue that. We're not going spicy here. Yeah. That's my problem, Greg B. Yeah. It's tough. It is tough to make it on here without going, and it could be really really easy. I couldn't put a video together tomorrow going, the dark side of Games Workshop. I've seen it, and talk about a lot of the bad stuff, a lot of the stuff I saw, the business side of Games Workshop. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to, because then you have to keep going that way. You have to go with that flow to keep people watching and interesting. I'd rather people go, hey man, wonder what Ultramarine unit Steve's going to cover today. I wonder what bit of terrain or model he painted up. Even if I never make it to the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views that a lot of their channels get. Now I'm not going to say millions yet, but you know, I don't want to go that way. I just don't. I don't ever want to go that way. It's not how I want to do it. There's a bunch of channels that do that, and I don't like it. The spicy side. Dude, there isn't a spicy side of Games Workshop. It's Games Workshop. The only time it really got spicy at a store is when someone came in and they hadn't bathed in a month and your eyes were watering and your nose was burning because you could smell them from the other end of the store. There's lots of stores like that. Again, I don't want to talk about that though. Right? There's no. There was yeah. I mean, hell, if you want one, I had a friend of mine, acquaintance, somewhere along that borderline, who worked in the mall that I worked in. Now, I worked at Games Workshop. He worked at the food court. There was a number of times I actually had to tell him, dude, before you come in, give yourself a little Axe spray, because when you come in, all we can smell in the entirety of the store. Now, it wasn't his fault. It was, because he worked in one of the fast food wastes. All you could smell was the cooked grease smell. You know that really strong cooked meat smell, the grease and all that. That's all we could smell, right? Eradicators, 8-Mid Dreadnought, they will do that. They can do that with their Lasfazeals. Or am I thinking the wrong one? No, that's Eliminators. Right. A lot of Eradicators have the... I don't have those models yet. The Eradicators have the special melty guns, right? And people wonder why it took years for women to go into GW stores. They started hiding a gas mask, and everything was good again. No, that was a spicy moment because he didn't come in the store for a while after that, after I asked him. But at the same time, what's the other thing? Women in GW stores. That's still a rarity from what I've seen. It's getting better. But again, that's why I want to have positive content. I see there's still a lot of that going on. Again, those videos talk about that, but it's always a negative way. Well, how I've seen them where it's like how Games Workshop is still sexist, how the industry isn't female friendly. I don't know. You gotta be cruel to be kind, free deodorant. Yeah, no, again, that's the type of stuff I want to avoid. I don't want to make fun of people for all that stuff. Sometimes it's, he was just because it's where he worked. But, we have other people who came in the store who were socially awkward. And I always felt bad for those guys because, I've been there too, right? We've all been socially awkward at one point. Some people just take along... I do. It's on my list of things to get at some point. I gotta make it through the at least to the Marines from the Leviathan set. Plus, I got Hellblasters, Reavers, a bunch of characters to do up. So I have lots of stuff to do before I get to Eradicators. I'm actually really looking forward to the Infernus squad and the new Terminators and the characters. I love all the characters. That lieutenant, the lieutenant with the combi weapon, is calling my name because he looks freaking awesome. I love the fact that you've got this super Tyranid killer. Love it. And unfortunately, he can't lead them. I'd love to have him teamed up with my Tyranid War Veterans. It's a whole bunch of anti-Tyranid love there. Basically auto wounding on a 4+, getting critical hits on a 4+. That cause devastating wounds is amazing. Well, that's for the Tyranid War Veterans. I don't know if the Lieutenant does the same thing, but he's anti-Tyranid 4+. So he's getting auto wounds, at least on a 4+. Tyranid War Veterans, if you hate your Tyranids, get those guys, because they are... they have anti-Tyranid on everything from their bolt pistol, bolter, close combat weapons. So on a 4+, you're getting critical hits. And they also have a special rule that allows those critical hits to become devastating wounds. So there's no armor saves to become mortal wounds, which is nasty. So resting murder face makes everything awkward. And we had some I don't want to. I could do a whole video on just the weirdness that I saw there. People coming in wearing capes. And that wasn't that weird. People telling us their blood was suffering. People finding poop under desks. Yeah, like poop. I don't know. Stuff happened, man. It was Games Workshop back in the day. It's actually right now I'm actually getting kind of worried for my local Games Workshop store because it's a one-man store which doesn't work. I don't care what Games Workshop says. It was a dumb idea that they decided to develop out of Japan because they had a number of one-man stores in Japan and it worked there, but the store was the size of like those little telephone kiosk things, your cell phone kiosk. It wasn't that big. One person could run it, and they decided to implement it across. I'm not sure. At least in Canada, they did a lot here, and you can't run a store with one person, especially when they're larger. The stores in Japan even are one-person stores anymore. They've got multiple people, so it was a horrible idea. But we still have a one-man store, and it's like closed half the time. Like even when it's supposed to be open, there's the thing going, "Oh, we're closed due to unforeseen circumstances." It's like, dude, like open the store, or at least find a part-timer or key timer, find somebody who can open the store when you're not there, so you're not missing out. Because there's definitely, I think, going to be a trend going forward where I think we're going to see less and less Warhammer stores. That's what they're calling them now. They're Warhammer. We're going to see far less of them because Games Workshop will send stuff out to your friendly local gaming store. Obviously, the web store was huge for them over the whole pandemic thing. They do. Yeah, okay, they do. One-man stores don't work. If you want to develop a community, which Games Workshop has definitely, I think they're trying to get back into it now. They just started this whole bunker thing, but I think store-wise, they have to change their mentality. When there was multiple of us in a store, it was fantastic because you could focus on selling stuff, but you could also focus on introducing people to the games, letting them try the games, getting them excited, trying to find out what their army, what they want to do with it. Tell them some of the fluff stories. Tell them some of the cool stories that you've been through. A one-man store, you can't do that. They're like, oh, you got to ping pong between people. So you're really hopping from person to person, basically getting the bare minimum. You can't build a rapport with people that way. You can't help build a community properly that way. You need to, it just doesn't work. You need more than one person. So I don't like the one-store policy. I worked the second time I worked there. I talked about it in my video when I did my stream on my history with Games Workshop. I didn't like the one-man store. It was a pain in the ass. You couldn't do your job properly. I tried running an intro game once, and it took forever. When that's not supposed to. It's supposed to be fast and fun, and it was interrupted every few minutes because I had to make a sale. I had to talk to this person. You can't. It's definitely something you need to work on if they want to continue doing your stores. If they don't want to continue stores, just continue doing your thing anyways, and eventually they'll. I miss those days too, man. Eventually they'll just phase out a lot of the Warhammer stores in different areas, especially places that aren't doing very well, and especially here in North America. I'm not sure. Obviously, Canada, geographically, we're huge in terms of overall population. We're incredibly small. It's weird. We're so small population-wise. So it may be different in the States where you have a lot more people, or the UK or Europe where there's a lot more people to fill those stores. But I don't know. And the store when I went there last was not in the best shape. The tables were not ready. Yeah, it's true. You can go. Yeah, I'm trying to get, like I said, going back to get in the community. I'm trying to get some games in at one of the local stores. Stores here are a one man. Yeah, so I don't know. I would like to see them bring more people in so they could actually get back to being not. I mean, obviously the store, they want to make money. I get that, but let's make them hobby stores again. Let's make them place you go talk with your friends, go there for a bit, play some games, paint some models, and come out going, oh man, that's a great day. I was talking about this. Oh, my eradicators did this. This did this. It's awesome. But yeah, no, it's gonna. I'm. I don't know. Like I said, where is it, hell child? You miss those days. So do I, man. I miss those days too. They were good days. There were a lot of good days back in the day. But no, I think I've sort of said my piece. And now, what do you guys think? Do you think my channel needs more changes? What would you recommend me doing? I always like to ask other people. What do you guys recommend I do to make this channel more fun? It doesn't have to be better in terms of overall quality, although that is the goal. What do you guys think I should do to make it more fun? Because that's the end goal. That was a big sort of chat I wanted to do around this video. I mean, it's cool to show stuff off, but what do you guys think? What in your opinion could I be doing better? That is true. No, I understand. Yeah, time and money are things that are limited when it comes to this channel for right now. But there's always some cool ideas I haven't thought of. I have decided to change, but again, it's not just deciding to change, but other specific things. Now, again, it's my channel. There's lots of blind spots that I won't even think of. Right. That's the next couple of months that the changes are going to happen, because I need to get more focused. But yeah, no, some good points. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know I do need to do some more testing. I mean, that's what these live streams were. I've done them for a while, but it's still a tested experience, right? Well, thank you, El Child. I appreciate that. Your wealth knowledge, your passion, lots for years focus. Well, thank you very much, guys. No, that's good. Like I love to hear what's going on. And plus, this my own stupid lizard brain always makes me doubt myself. So one of the things it's always nice to hear a little encouragement too, to know that you're actually having an effect. Again, that's the whole I mentioned earlier. Stop with my sort of self-imposed isolation. I got to talk to people more, get out there more, and get exposed out there and expose myself to other people's ideas. That's why I always ask these things. I like to make sure that I'm getting ideas back, because when it comes to ourselves, we do have a bit of a blind spot. So it's always good to have someone go, "Hey, man, you're good at this. You're not so good at this. Focus on this." Right? So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. But yeah. Well, I think in the end, it is what I'm going to do. Sorry, something in my freaking eye. That's definitely. I have taken those into environments. That's why I'm going to focus on things like the Ultramarines, and more specifically, and some of the old history and fluff of the game as well, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Well, thank you, guys. I really do appreciate the kind words and the advice, because it's something I do need to hear. I'm a bit of a major self-doubter too, so it's nice to hear from someone else, because my own brain doesn't like me very much sometimes. But that is where I think I'm going to wrap this up. It is getting late. I have a very early morning, taking my son back out to his last day of his cadet camp. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll definitely be doing another one of these every Saturday as best I can. And I definitely will be following up with you guys about being in one of your live streams sooner than later, because I definitely want to. I want to reach out and talk to people and get to know people better, be part of the community a bit more, and have a voice and impact on it, a positive one too. But thank you very much, guys, everybody. Me and my big gun are very happy to see you all. See, it's very, very happy big gun. All right, and I will see you guys. I will definitely. I'll get in touch with you guys, and we'll figure something out. Maybe next weekend. All right. I love you guys very much. I'll see you guys later, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.